So good to be part of this with one goal, my first one here in Old Trafford. I dream a lot of this, and that's coming. But of course, I think the contribution is much more important with the win.
We worked hard, we had chances. Of course, they also had chances, but I think the main part was after our mistakes. We just did two easy mistakes, and then it cost energy, and this energy we missed a little bit in the end.
Yeah, so at times you felt you were the architects of your own downfall.
Yeah, exactly.
This is the club then I grown up to watch, and to be here is mix of sensations, to be fan inside of the pitch now, to help them. I think it's my dream come true.
You could say you did it the old Manchester United way today, not the straightforward way. What were you thinking at 3-2?
Was hard, but again, we had some moments in the past when the spirit was a little bit different. We suffer more. Today we scored the last goal in the last minute because I felt that we can deal with bad moments in a better way than we showed last year. And then when you have a different spirit, you have a little bit luck. So let's continue with that.
Talk a bit about that spirit in a moment, but Michael, you noticed something and have noticed this in Manchester United's midfield, a tactical shift, some changes.
Yeah, get straight into the tactical side. A lot's been said about the midfield too, and the pairing and the spaces that they've got to cover over the last year or so, really. And for me as an ex-midfielder, something I'm really interested in, of how they get to support and help. You can't expect two midfielders against a good team to deal with 3 and 4 players. So how do you find the solution? They found the solution with the forwards dropping in to support this middle zone that we're showing here, to support Bruno and Casemiro. They found support with Luke Shaw jumping in on Ruta and staying in there to almost make a 3 midfield, which then in the end it's a numbers game and it's a space game, and you've got to fill the right spaces. And Bruno, Luke Shaw and Casemiro here filling that middle of the pitch just kept them solid. There's no way against the Brighton team you could ask Bruno and Casemiro to do that. And the formation was quite fluid, and you can see Luke Shaw's almost right midfield here. That leaves Cunha to drop in and be responsible and be really disciplined, but because the spaces and he's tucked in or around it, even when they got broke at times, they were willing to backtrack and fill in fluid. And you see Cunha backtracking in the left back position here. It summed it up. It was such a big shift from Mbeumo, Cunha, Bruno, Casemiro and Luke Shaw to fill the middle of the pitch. And again here you see it. The release, Šeško presses the goalkeeper. You expect Brighton to make a pass or two to break the press. Bruno releases, Casemiro's in and around, Luke Shaw all the way in aggressive with the confidence to win it back. And then Casemiro gets it, a little bit of luck with the finish, but I think they earned that because of the space down and stopped Brighton as the game went on, stopped Brighton playing through. The next clip we're looking at is a little bit with the ball, and again, this I feel there's something building, Casemiro holds the middle of the pitch, Cunha drifts a little bit. When Cunha drifts low, Casemiro holds the middle. Bruno's got licence to drift a little bit higher, and Mbeumo drifting off the back of Šeško, and there's that fluidity, and there's almost that between the 3 of them when they're getting it, they're looking to pass to each other until the final moment, and it's a great move. And Šeško on the end of it would have been nice to see him finish the move for such a good move, but you can see there's something building and the connection between especially them 3, and they kind of suit to play different positions around that front line as well, and there's a fluidity, and they've done both sides of the game fantastically well today.
Ruben Amorim said the word spirit about 4 times, didn't he, in that answer there, and clearly there is something that you can't measure, isn't there? We talk a lot about all the statistics, the data, the XGs, but emotion and effort and togetherness and confidence, it's not tangible, but it's visible.
Yeah, I'm kind of got a smile on my face because when you get that moment as a footballer and you get a connection with somebody, it's a wavelength, and you almost play off instinct. And I kind of put it as you almost play with a smile inside because you enjoy playing with each other, and it looks like they've found that connection. And 2 of them have just arrived in the summer. Bruno's been there for a period of time. And listen, it's not just them 3, but it feels that. There's something really fun about the way they want to play, and there was a lot on the game today, playing to go 3 wins after beating Liverpool and everyone going, yeah, but it's happened before type thing, a big game to go again, and they've lost against Brighton in the past, so it was a big game today, and I thought they played ever so well.
Thank you, Mike.
A lot rosier for Manchester United as it stands. They are 4th in the league. As I say as it stands because Liverpool in action right now against Brentford, and they are losing to an early Atara goal, which has come from a long throw. That would see Brentford into the top half and Liverpool slip to 6th. A lot can change in that game, but you're starting to see this picture change for Manchester United. Are we starting to see a buy-in from his players. He talks about work rate. He talks about a new feeling, a new sound at Old Trafford.
Yeah, that goes two ways. It's twofold to a certain extent, because it comes from the players that you bring in. It comes by recruitment and bringing people that are going to fight. He mentioned it himself. You have to want to fight. I've just highlighted Brighton Mbeumo here, number 19, right at the bottom of the screen. That's just one of your star players. Look at him getting back in to show some desire to try and stop a goal. He gets the wrong side of it, but I wouldn't have seen that last year with some of the players that were at the club playing in wide areas. Again, this time I've highlighted Cunha, number 10. Look at him get back. He tries to win that first one, doesn't, and he sees his teammates are in a bit of trouble. Right, I'm going to go and help him out. He slides in. Obviously, there's a corner, but that's what you want to see. That's desire, that's work ethic. Again, Cunha in this defensive position here. He sees his left back's in a bit of trouble, wins the ball back for his team. That's exactly what you want. And Brighton Mbeumo and Cunha did that all game. Here he is again, number 19. Keep your eye on him. He goes to press the ball, he wins it back. That comes from his Brentford days, where that was put into him non-stop, probably every day in training. And they epitomised, I think, everything that was really good about that Manchester United performance today. And that's what you need. If you've got that buy-in, if you've got players working hard without the ball, and I mentioned before, data cannot equate for heart, desire and fight. And Manchester United have not had that for many years. But all of a sudden, with these types of players, you're going to start to get that.
Data does tell us that there have been a lot of sprints from Manchester United tonight, second most in the game under Amorim. Yeah. Is that how we're seeing this play out, this buy-in?
Yeah,
Izzy?
I think it's infectious, the way that the players are playing. Like Jamie said, you've got your two new signings, your two so-called star players in there doing that work for the team. It sends a pulse around the team. It makes people feel good. It brings the energy inside the stadium. That always helps. Fans love to see that as much as they love to see goals as well. And I think what Amorim alluded to as well in his post-match interview there was, his team need to get better and are getting better at managing difficult moments. I don't think tonight was by any means a complete performance for Manchester United. I think the second half they lacked rhythm and they lost a bit of control and gave Brighton an opportunity to get back in the game. And actually, in a weird way, I actually think that's a good thing, because I don't think they need to get ahead of themselves. I don't think they will, but I think in the past we've seen Man United get 2-3 wins on the bounce and then all of a sudden they think they've made it again, and they haven't.
Because the mood can change very quickly, Jamie, if I could just jump in, because I think these international breaks are quite impactful in terms of a feeling. So that this slots in here. So next we've got two away games, away at Forest next Saturday and then against Thomas Frank's Spurs, before you have that break. And the mood could be very different, couldn't it?
Of course, and he knows that. He's well aware of it. But I'm saying there are signs. And I'm not saying Man United are going to win the league or anything this year, but I like what I see. You can see that the players are certainly buying into that. And then it becomes, as you say, it becomes contagious. Everyone then starts to rub off. People are starting to work hard. That training ground this week will be buzzing. They'll be excited. They'll be looking forward to their next game against Nottingham Forest.
But if that is the template, OK, you say they can't win the league, but if that is the template, what we've seen over certainly the last two games in terms of effort and performance and quality at times, what do you think is possible?
Well, they certainly should be looking at top four this season. Why shouldn't they be looking at top five, I say, because getting into the Champions League again. They've got the quality of player now. They've got other players coming back from injury. They're starting to get a little bit of squad depth. They've got the confidence. And what they also have to make is, for too long, it's been too easy to play at Old Trafford. You've actually enjoyed going there. I remember going there years ago. If you got a corner, you did a lap of honour. That's how it should. That's how it used to be. When you looked at Roy Keane's team and Scholes and players like that. Whereas now teams go, they go, this is lovely. You get all the freedom of the park. You can play the crowd. It's nice. This is enjoyable. They've got to make it really hostile again and make it difficult to go there. And I felt that a little bit today. Now, of course, we cannot get carried away. But there's no reason with this team why they can't certainly get in the top five. They've certainly got that kind of capability. But as a manager says, he's under no illusions. It can also very quickly go the other way.
7 home wins throughout all of last season. That's 4 already this, Izzy. Is that evidence that we might be looking at something different? Yeah,
it's impressive. You look at it and go, what is success this season for Man United? And it's interesting because a few weeks ago we were talking about, near on a catastrophe. But it's amazing how, the points change is still early in the season. But I think the consistency is the most important thing. It's a boring word, but it's a word with so much power. And I think that they need to feel that consistency. I saw so much in that performance tonight that I feel my underlying message from that performance after watching it is the team looked in sync. And I don't think we can say that about a Manchester United team. We've seen it in spells, in patches, but that's the most of a 90-minute match that I've seen the team connected on the same page. They knew what they were doing. And it's almost like things are starting to come together. But I still think there was gaps in that performance, which I guess for Amorim is the exciting part.
Let's have a look at Brighton. Let's see what they've got coming up, and a really important game immediately on the horizon because they've got Carabao Cup football this week at Arsenal. Then they play Leeds and Palace before the international break. In some ways, Jamie, because of their journey, might that actually be the most important game the Arsenal one?
Yeah, absolutely. 'Cause it does feel like they've done so well as a club. You know, the ownership and the players, the recruitment has been exceptional. And that's why I was so disappointed in them today. It's one of the worst I've seen them. But I think there was a lot to do with how good Manchester United were. But that is one that you think, yeah, why can't we go and win a cup? Why can't we do what Newcastle did last year? And all of a sudden it starts to change the perception of the club. And they are difficult to predict because they can have these high moments. But today, everyone just seemed a little bit off it. You know, Belieber in midfield, we billed him before the game and the way he played, but he was really poor. And Ayari didn't get going. So they should be thinking about these games. But I'm not worried about that because they've got that. They are a little bit inconsistent. But when they hit heights and when they play well, and they've got a few injuries at the moment, they're an exceptional team.
Target still has to be top half for them, doesn't it?
100%, and I think cup run as well, because I think Brighton, we spoke about their incredible sporting model for so many years, and you know the development, the recruitment strategy. They're selling players for a lot of money, and they play some beautiful football at times. I think Jamie's spot on, disrupted today, but I think the next step for Brighton is to go and challenge for a domestic trophy.
Congratulations, the first Manchester United goal, finally.
Yeah, finally. Well, I worked so hard for this. You know, the wins started to come in and I'm so happy. But of course, I want a little bit more contribution. And then today is coming, we win and then everything is fine.
Was it playing on your mind a little bit to get that goal? I saw you speaking about it when you were on international duty.
Yeah, you know, always like, of course, we are a little bit anxious when you play in the front to score goals, like I say, to have a little bit more contributions. But the last time I say this, if my participation is to help the team and then we start to win, I will be happy also. But of course, with this goal, everyone will be around me to push me. The guys started to joking around, oh, you can score, wow. But of course, like, these some kind of things, then everyone push me, and then I feel so happy to be here.
3 wins in a row for the team now as well. That's not happened under Ruben Amorim. It was 2 wins in a row last week that hadn't happened before. How much of a platform do you think you've given yourselves now to build on?
It's like I say, you know, everyone have like this full confidence on him. He's someone that pushes us forward. He needs to be a little bit more happy now. He always is someone that is very stressful to start to win and then improve every single day. But of course, he deserves this. The team deserves this. The United, it's like I always say, you need to be back to the way to wins, and then this need to be the normal for this club. And yeah, I'm so happy to be part of this.
A win, a first Manchester United goal, and the Player of the Match award as well. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Interesting.
A good day.
Yeah, amazing day. Thank you. I'll remember every day this.
Well done.
Thank you.
Thank you.
3 wins in the span in the Premier League, 4th win here at Old Trafford. But most importantly, you faced a team that caused United so many troubles over the years. So how pleased that you managed to break that spell and win against Brighton?
I'm really pleased. To win any game in this moment is so important. We know how tough it is to play against Brighton. They have no pressure, a lot of talent, a very good coach. But we dealt with that really well. We scored 3 goals and then we suffer 1 goal. When you feel that we are near the 4th goal, not to suffer 1 goal, and then we were a little bit nervous, but in the end I think we deserve the win. We scored 4 goals, but we need to improve certain things that we are going to try to win the next one.
That's why I was sure you were going to say something like that, because I know you're a perfectionist. So at 3-0, you were, of course, happy until 75 minutes. United were playing really well. So where you were in the last 15 minutes, and how did you see the team performance and how they managed to get
It's hard to some things hard to explain, but then when the opponent score a goal, they play really well, and we want to win all the games, we need points, and then I felt the team a little bit nervous, but different from the past. So we suffer, but we suffer trying to control the game, controlling the emotions, and that is a good step to be better in the future.
How much did they change the team, Cunha and Mbeumo, the way that they play, and not only the goals that they're scoring?
I think I really like the commitment of both of them. Also Ben, he play in front. They run a lot, they defend really well. I think Cunha defended really well. So much different than the first games, and then with the ball, Cunha can give us different things. Brian run all the time, score goals, second balls, and Ben every time the ball is going in the air, the way he fights, controlling the ball, is very good connecting. He has potential to be so much better. So I'm really pleased with them.
What to see from your perspective? Are you seeing the United that you want to see?
I see so much stronger United in the future, but step by step. I think, again, the most important things is that we are improving the way we play the game. It doesn't matter the system, if you play with the ball or without the ball, we are more as a team, and we show that spirit in these 3 final games. But again, that is in the past. Let's focus on the next one.
Just to finish with, we know him as a player, 300 games for Bruno Fernandes, but what does he mean for the club? What does he mean for the changing room for you?
Actually, he means a lot. He's a big talent that playing everywhere. Is always available. He wants to help the players.
Right.
It's so important defending, attacking. So I'm really pleased with him. But again, like the other guys, let's focus on the next one.
Is there a happier man anywhere right now? He looks delighted, and rightly so. First Manchester United goal, and he was excellent today.
He is a wonderful player. He's got so many good attributes, but any player needs a goal for confidence. Big move for him. Wolves' best player last year, could prove he can score goals. Easily goes past people, plays with a strut and a confidence, but also with a great work ethic. And his quality today was there for all to see. He's given this United team something special, something unique. And now they've got players in the high end of the pitch who can really hurt teams, even when they're not playing so well. But he deserved his goal. He got in some great positions. He's versatile as well in the fact that, like last week, he played more centrally. Now he's playing off to the left. He's doing his defensive work. You always get players doing more of that when they've scored, running back and helping out. But overall, yeah, his performance was arguably his best in a Man United shirt, and you know now that the fans have taken to him, and he could be a massive player for them this season.
What do you like about him, Ben?
Yeah, he was fantastic today. Loved his first touch for his goal. Set it up beautifully and just bent it round into the corner.
Strong, isn't he?
Yeah, he's strong. He's powerful. It's great to see a smile on his face. There's not been many of them at Old Trafford in the past few weeks, but as he said in his interview, now it's that consistency for him. That's his next step. Getting that every game and being able to perform every game for Man United.
Yeah, most goals from outside the box since 2024-25, and that's Matheus Cunha leading the way with 6 ahead of Fernandes there. He's his teammate. Speaking of teammates and former teammates, Cunha Mbeumo got 2 goals today as well, your former Brentford teammate. What do you think about him, his performance today, and how he settled in at United?
Yeah, really pleased for Brian. He was excellent again today. I think he's been a real shining star for United this season. He's settled into that shirt with ease. His touches, his first touch, his finishing. 20 goals last season. Proved he could do it in the Premier League, scoring goals, and he's getting them here. Got 2 today, obviously. He's had a few others this season, but yeah, he looks so comfortable in that United shirt, and he's fine at the minute, and really great to see, and really pleased for him.
Yeah, it's not really surprising. That is the class that he has been showing. That's the quality we know that he has.
No, absolutely. But sometimes when you go to a big club, Man United, he's been at Brentford, probably didn't have as much pressure on his shoulders. Went for fairly big money as well, and he's just got right in there, and that's a fantastic finish there, and.
He looks comfortable in that arena. He's full of confidence. He works tremendously hard. I actually think he's been United's best player this season in all the games I've seen. He, again, versatile, can play centrally on the right, but he's not a luxury. He does his defending. But him and Cunha now, and obviously Šeško added to that, gives United a real threat high up the pitch, which they didn't have last season.
Yeah, they were crying out for that. At 3-0 at that point. This is an incident where perhaps Patrick Dorgu may count himself lucky. What did you think? Should he have been sent off?
I'm always of the opinion that it's got to be really bad to be sent off. First, watching it live, it looks like he does his best to try and get out of the way. That doesn't always matter with some officials because obviously there is some form of contact. The ball's more or less at the keeper. I actually think it's the right decision. I mean, Brighton, there is contact. I think it's accidental, and I don't think he's getting to the ball anyway. There will be people who disagree, but I don't think it's a sending off.
I completely agree. I'm glad he wasn't sent off for that. He's tried getting out of the way. The ball's got away from the Brighton striker. I'm glad he wasn't sent off. I think it was the right decision.
OK, well, Brighton did try to mount a comeback, led, of course, by former Manchester United striker and a man who's really in form right now, Danny Welbeck.
Yeah, I mean, this is a guy who's at a stage in his career where he knows what he's good at. He's strong, he leads the line well, he's experienced. Lovely free kicks from him. Keeper maybe a bit questionable, but that changed the dynamic of the game. All of a sudden now, Brighton were in the ascendancy and United were panicking a little bit, and this is a brilliant header. Can't remember the young lad's name.
Costulas, yeah.
Well, I can't say it, I can remember it, just can't. Costulas. Great header, and it was a nervy last few minutes for United, but they deserved the win.
Do you agree with that?
Yeah, absolutely deserve the win. Just going back to Danny Welbeck, fantastic leading that line. Thought he was probably one of the Brighton players that actually performed today. I was disappointed with them overall. They usually go to Old Trafford and give United a really good game in the past couple of seasons. So disappointed with them, but yeah, United deserved the win today. I thought they were excellent.
There's 3 Premier League wins in a row now. First time since 23-24 season. They've been waiting a long time, and they've got 3 in a row. They're putting a little bit of a run together.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was important, especially after last weekend, such a big victory at Anfield. He went on and won this weekend and carried on that run. I think that's something that's been lacking, absolutely, for Manchester United to go on and win games. There's had a lot of criticism over the first however many games this season, but they seem to find a better form and turning it around.
With that result, United above their arch rivals, Liverpool, in the table. Sorry to mention that. Sorry to mention that, Danny. The question is, can they finish in the top 4 this season?
I mean, they've got the personnel to do so. When you look at the other teams they're competing with, yes, they could. I still think it's a big ask, because when you watch Manchester United, and I've seen nearly every game this season, they're still very vulnerable defensively. Teams do create a lot of chances against them, so that's an area of concern. At times in midfield, they can lack a bit of legs and athleticism. So some of their success will depend on injuries as well, especially high up the pitch. We've seen how important those players are. So they could do it, but I doubt it.
What's your vote, yes or no?
I don't know. I think there's some teams that aren't performing as highly as they could. Liverpool, for being an example. Depends how they go.
Maybe even
Chelsea, getting beat today. But yeah, I think they've got a chance. I think they have got a chance because of other teams that are not performing to their usual high standards.
Before we move on, a special moment and a special day for Gary Neville. Let's take a look at these pictures. He was inducted into the Premier League Hall of Fame, a 2025 inductee, being presented there by a Manchester United legend himself. What do you think of that induction, Danny?
Well deserved. I had many games against Gary, and he and David Beckham produced this wonderful partnership for Manchester United over one of their most successful periods. Arguably one of the greatest right-backs England's ever had. He's well-decorated, tremendous career, deserves it.
Well, congratulations.